Hello, Internet. I am Insane Lane, returning to the end of book club this week. Sorry that Saturday went off the rails and I lost my shit. It happens. Things go wrong. It happens. You can't predict it. You can't explain it. I may have rewatched Twister because the Twisters movie is actually dumber than I thought. And I watched the honest trailer and oh dear God, it's so just from the clips in the trailer. Oh God, is it bad? Oh, I am not regretting my decision to not watch this movie at all. Trust me, watch original. This one's not worth it. Hello, Mirage Swiss. Good to see ya. You gotta pick a sexy picture for a logo, dude. Come on. Can't just have M makes people think you're a bot. I happen to know this is not a bot. I actually know this person, but seriously, can't just have a letter. It's number one sign that you are a bot or troll account. I've never responded to anything with somebody commenting just with a letter. So, hey, red letter thing happened this week. I commented on a police body cam saying that the police used Eiskin has words. I commented on a police body cam video stating that the police officer in question used excessive force and was unreasonable to do so. And instead of just getting the usual 47 comments calling me the C word and lefty, liberal, ignorant, fill in your own 4-letter expletives here, and I mean ad nauseum, they get vicious. Really vicious. That only partially happened. I actually got one comment from one person saying they agreed with me that the cop did use unreasonable amount of force and that there was no reason to. The situation is that it was a one-on-one, which I understand is always dangerous, especially for a cop. You're alone. You don't have backup. I get it. But the person that the cop was trying to arrest was being 100% non-violent. They were laying on the ground, being non-violent. Granted, no, they were not putting their hands behind their back. I will say that. But they were also completely non-violent. They're about the same size as the cop. It was a female cop. Nothing against them, but that was the situation. You have two people who are about the same size, probably about the same age, and the person on the ground they're laying on the ground. They're not putting their hands behind their back, but they're not fighting with you either. And they were being, in my mind, reasonably compliant. So rather than the female cop just like kneel down and grab this person's wrist and cuff them, which I'm sure they could have done, they pull out their taser and then proceed to taser this person who is lying still and doing nothing. They proceed to taser this person like 6 or 7 times. While this person is literally just laying on the ground. She's doing nothing to fight this cop at all. At all. And the cop just keeps hitting the taser over and over and over and over. And I know some police departments have a limit on how many times a cop may use a taser. Most of them, I think it's 2 or 3. After 2 or 3 shocks, they have to stop because the risk that you will injure somebody goes way up after that. And so for the fact that not only she was using a taser against somebody who was being completely non-violent and had not been violent, just to be clear, this was not the end of a brawl. This person was not like fighting and then they gave up. No. This person was completely peaceful the entire time. So it was just a really odd, and I can get from the female cop's point of view, she doesn't have backup. She's alone. This person's about the same size as her. They're probably pretty equally matched in terms of strength. She doesn't want to get into a fight. I get that. But the person wasn't fighting. They wouldn't have. And they're laying on the ground on their stomach. You put a knee on their back, you cuff them, it's over. She did not have to taser this person over half a dozen times while literally just demanding that she put her hands, which were at her sides. They weren't under her stomach. They were at her sides, easily accessible, while demanding this person just put their hands behind her back. So until you do, I'm going to taser you 7 times. It was excessive. It was too much. Yeah, I know the police in Europe's different. I particularly seek out body cam videos from from Europe and Australia, etc. I would love to do a compare and contrast someday of side by side. If I could find like 2 situations that were close enough to like one in Europe and one in America, say shoplifting, pick the most generic thing. If I could find a shoplifting video, hello Night Wolf on your backup channel. I'm very glad to see you here. I hope I can give you a laugh or a giggle or two. I'll start reading in a minute. I'm just ranting. Um, but no, I would love to do a side by side. Shoplifting from Walmart slash European Walmart equivalent, which I think is called Asda, or Selfridges or something like that. Your generic like low cost department store. Somebody gets caught shoplifting, say under $100. If I could get American video and European video side by side to see how they handle that, and also if they could get videos of like, because trust me, look up videos of police dealing with mentally ill people. Oh, the contrast. Or get, if you can find it, get British or European police officers reacting to American police and going like, wait, they're allowed to do that? That you'd be arrested here if you did that. And that's always my thing. They do use tasers a lot more. And because I know this fun fact, taser, TASER, anybody know what it stands for in the chat? I'm going to wait 4 minutes. No Googling. You know it or you don't. If you Googled, you cheated. Do you know what taser, TASER, stands for? It actually stands for something. Most people don't know it's an acronym, and a lot of people spell it with a Z. Kind of understand why. But yeah, it's an acronym, and it kind of speaks to why it was invented, which is I gotta look up the history of like why tasers were invented. I know they were invented as a less lethal weapon, so you don't have to shoot somebody. I get that. And I believe it was probably it had to be Tesla originally came up. It had to be, but he didn't build it. Though, if you're ever so inclined, there is a fantastic photo out there of Tesla and why can I think of Samuel Clemens, but I cannot think of it. Mark Twain. Mark Twain, because Tesla and Twain were friends, and I think Tesla like he proposed inventing some like electric laser gun weapon or something, and Mark Twain was like, "Hey, do it! I have military contracts. I'll sell it for you." But there's a photo of Twain holding up 2 electric wires that it like if he had touched himself, he would have fried himself. And Tesla's in the background, like because pretty much everything Tesla invented could kill you. That's the thing. Like how the guy did not like murder several people. The fact that Victorians used to literally play with electricity. If you could get an electricity machine and cause an arc, it was like a seance. It was a big event, and people really did die from touching it and electrocuting themselves because they didn't know what electricity was. They didn't understand it. But that was a big deal. You would literally have like a whole salon just to crank up this machine and cause an arc to go from there to there. That was a huge event. All right, I'm going to read a page or two and then I'll give the answer. We got about 15 pages to get to the end of the chapter, and I'm doing this because I don't want to get out of schedule. I do have a schedule in my head. I did not know that. I assume by the gun you mean their service weapon. They get to keep, and they get it like licensed under whatever kind of civilian license they would have. Whatever the Swiss equivalent of conceal and carry is. Does Europe allow conceal and carry? I kind of feel like they would not. Like exceptions for certain things, of course, but I kind of feel like generally conceal and carry would not be allowed in Europe. I think it would be going too far. It's certainly we don't allow it here. There's long. The only thing that prevented it actually was the pandemic happening. We were about to turn Toronto and the GTA, which is basically half of Ontario, into a gun-free zone, which I still support, and that legislation is floating around. There's a lot of things that got tabled that have not made it back to the front yet. They will. They will in time. Okay, because I'm ranting and went over in time, the answer to what this taser stand for is Thomas A. Swift Electric Rifle, because that's what it was meant to be. It was meant to be an electricity using gun, so you could take someone down at a distance but not kill them, was the idea. And Thomas Swift was the original inventor of the taser. So Thomas A. Swift Electric Rifle is what taser stands for. Other things that are acronyms: SCUBA and radar. SCUBA, I know, is self contained underwater breathing apparatus. I do not remember what radar stands for. I believe it's radioactive something diode, but I don't remember the others. Okay, so we're picking up after Anastasia's car has been decimated, which allows Christian to have more reason to keep her captive in his apartment, which he's already doing. There's extra security around whose names I don't know. Excuse me. And he's just decided that he thinks Layla is somehow hiding in the apartment, even though the apartment's big, but it's not that big. And like, there's never an answer as to how she would have gotten in. She didn't have keys. She never did. I'm sure the codes have been changed since then, but he's convinced she's in there somewhere. So he's like, "I'm taking Anastasia. We're leaving. Have security sweep this place. We'll come back when I'm sure it's safe, and make sure my housekeeper doesn't show up till then." Really, Switzerland has the mandatory draft? Seriously? I didn't know that. I would not have thought that. If you asked me to name countries that have mandatory draft, Switzerland would not have been on my list. Like, I know several Asian countries do, and America did, and UK did for a while. I think Australia. No, Australia, I don't think ever did because they're a penal colony, so they're very big on freedoms and not having the government tell you what to do, kind of thing. So they're somehow Australia is like is extremely like right wing as in general, but then they're also like extreme lefties on other things. That's why they're great. That and kangaroos, of course. No, don't get in a fight with a kangaroo because it will take your head clean off. Okay, so we have Christian grabbing Anastasia saying we gotta go, this place isn't safe, and I think it's like them being on a boat in the movie. I don't know, it was a stupid scene. Aren't we all overreacting slightly, I ask. Christian glowers at me. She may have a gun, he growls. Christian, she was standing at the end of the bed. She could have shot me then if that's what she wanted to do. Christian pauses for a moment to rein in his temper. I think. When has he ever done this in the history of ever? In a menacingly soft voice, he asks, I'm not prepared to take the risk. Taylor, Anastasia needs shoes. Taylor disappears into his closet while the security guy watches me. I can't remember his name. Ryan, maybe. He looks alternately down the hall into the balcony windows. Christian emerges a couple minutes later with a leather messenger bag and wearing jeans and his pinstripe blazer. Ugh, I'm glad they did not do this in the movie because, I'm sorry, pinstripes look good on almost nobody. Al Pacino, though. He drapes a denim jacket around his shoulders. I may have watched Devil's Advocate like 7 times in the last couple days. Nobody judge. Come. He clasped my hands tightly. I got into a fight with my grandfather over that movie once. I was 18 years old, and I grabbed it off the DVD shelf, and he tried to tell me I couldn't watch it in his house, quote unquote. And I'd already seen it, by the way, and I told him that. But I didn't live with him. By the way, I did not live with him. I was visiting and bored and hiding in the basement watching movies. And he tried to stop me, and I basically said to him, "You don't get to tell me what to do, old man. I'm 18 years old, so I will watch an R-rated movie if I want to, and I don't care that I'm in your house." I never went for that fucking shit of not under my roof. No, go fuck yourself. Oh, it's good that there are options. Because, yeah, like some people, they might be pacifists, they might be conscientious objectors, depending on what is going on politically or what kind of conflicts are going on in the world right now. Like, I remember that became an issue in when the war in Iraq started. The U.S. had a lot of conscientious objectors, and as had happened with like Vietnam, a lot of them fled to Canada, and then we had to like come up with some kind of way to deal with it. I don't think they ever actually answered that. I think a lot of people were just allowed to kind of move quietly. Don't make a big deal of things unless you have to. And seriously, I say to any military, literally any military in the history of ever, if you have people who don't want to be there and they don't want to shoot a gun and they're pacifists or they're conscientious objectors, what good are they to you anyway? What good are they to you anyway? Why not let them go? They're just going to be a problem that you're going to have to deal with. Like, why? Come. He clasps my hands tightly, and I have to practically run to keep up with his long strides into the great room. He's not that much taller than her. I can't believe she could hide somewhere in here, I mutter, staring out the balcony doors. It's a big place. You haven't seen it all yet. He never answers this. She's certainly in the movie. Yeah, it's big, but it ain't that big. Why don't you just call her? Tell her you want to talk to her. Anastasia seems unstable and she may be armed, he says irritably. That doesn't make that not a good idea. Like, honest to God, Christian can put an end to this right now. Yes, get Anastasia out of there, but then he sits his ass on the couch and just yells out, Layla, come out. Kneel in front of me now. And says it in the Dom voice. I bet you in 5 seconds she's kneeling in front of him. Like, seriously. He's an idiot. So we just run. For now, yes. Supposing she tries to shoot Taylor. Taylor knows and understands guns, he says with distaste. He'll be quicker with a gun than she is. Great, so I'm leaving behind someone that can defend themselves, and somehow that makes it okay if Layla ends up dead. Again, Anastasia is right, but plot needs stupid right now in order to continue. Christian raises his eyebrows and for a moment looks utterly bemused. You, with a gun, he says incredulously. Why is he saying that? Yes, I'm affronted. I can shoot, Mr. Gray, so you'd better beware. It's not just crazy ex-subs you need to worry about. Have we ever had any hint that she knows how to use a fucking gun, ever? I call total bullshit, and I actually do think that she's lying. Well, bear that in mind, Miss Steele, he answers, dryly amused, and it feels good to know that even in this ridiculously tense situation, I can make him smile. No, you can't. Taylor meets us in the foyer and hands me a small suitcase and my black Converse sneakers. How does Converse always get the product placement? Like, seriously, iRobot wasn't enough? That's a better movie than people think it is. I'm stunned that he's packed me some clothes. I smile shyly at him with gratitude, and his returning smile is swift and reassuring. Before I can stop myself, I hug him hard. He's taken by surprise, and when I release him, he's pink in both cheeks. Be careful, I murmur. Yes, Miss Steele, he murmurs, embarrassed. Christian frowns at me and then looks questioningly at Taylor, who smiles very slightly and adjusts his tie. Are we saying he's jealous of his own bodyguard, for Christ's sake? Ugh! Honestly, like, Christian Grey is the guy who is jealous of the mirror that gets to reflect her face. He's like Narcissus, but like sideways. Let me know where I'm going, Christian says. Taylor reaches into his jacket, pulls out his wallet, and hands Christian a credit card. So I guess this guy's so rich he doesn't even carry his own wallet. Other people carry his money for him. You might want to use this when you get there. Christian nods. Good thinking. What is this, like some untraceable Swiss bank account card? It probably is. Ryan joins us. Sawyer and Reynolds found nothing, he says to Taylor. Accompany Mr. Gray and Miss Steele to the garage, Taylor orders. The garage is deserted. Well, it's nearly 3 in the morning. Christian ushers me into the passenger seat of the R8 and puts my case and his bag in the trunk and the front. In the trunk at the front of the car. Is this a British car? It just says R8, so I have no idea what an R8 is. Y'all know I'm not a car person. But for the trunk to be at the front, that's generally a British thing. The Audi beside us is a complete mess. Every tire slashed, white paint splattered all over it. It's chilling and makes me grateful that Christian is taking me somewhere else. That's a first. The replacement will arrive on Monday, Christian says bleakly while you see his right. Literally, the car got destroyed like a half hour ago, and of course, she's already got a replacement. How could she have known it was my car? He glances anxiously at me and sighs. She had an Audi A3. I buy one for all my submissives. It's one of the safest cars in its class. Because, of course. But this again speaks to how he views women, that they are interchangeable. So that's why, yes, he buys them all the same car. He takes them all to the same salon because his former mistress runs it and she knows how he likes his submissives literally groomed. So it makes sense that, and I'm sure the clothes come from the same 3 or 4 shops where he has an account, and it's just like, okay, here's the sizes, send me the usual stuff. This is what he does because they're not real to him. They're toys that he is playing with. She's the equivalent of a Barbie doll. Well, she's a fuck doll, but she's a Barbie doll that he can dress. And, like the actual Barbie girl song that should have been in the movie. I'm sorry, studio, you should have paid up. That song was made for that movie, and you know it. You should have paid what they wanted. They earned it and deserved it. Screw you. So I hope there's a director's cut where they fix that. Anastasia, despite what I hoped, you've never been my submissive, so technically it is a graduation present. He pulls out of the parking space and speeds to the exit. That is some very fine detailed icing there, and he's still a jerk. Despite what he'd hoped. Oh no. My subconscious shakes her head sadly. This is what we come back to all the time. Are you still hoping? I whisper. The in-car phone buzzes. Gray. Christian snaps. Who the hell else would be answering his car phone, seriously? Fairmount Olympic, in my name. Thank you, Taylor. And Taylor, be careful. Taylor pauses. Yes, sir, he says quietly. And Christian hangs up. The streets of Seattle are deserted, and Christian roars up Fifth Avenue towards I-5. Once on the interstate, he floors the gas pedal heading north. He accelerates so quickly I'm momentarily thrown back in my seat. So he's speeding in the middle of the night because that's a great idea. I peek at him. He's deep in thought, radiating a deadly, brooding silence. He hasn't answered my question. He glances frequently at the rearview mirror, and I realize he's checking that we're not being followed. Perhaps that's why we're on I-5. I thought the Fairmount was in Seattle. I gaze out of the window, trying to rationalize my exhausted, overactive mind. If she'd wanted to hurt me, she had ample opportunity in the bedroom. No, it's not what I hoped for. Not anymore. I thought that was obvious. Christian interrupts my introspection, his voice soft. I blink at him, pulling the denim jacket tighter around me, and I don't know if it's the chill emanating from within me or from without. I worry that I'm not enough. You're more than enough. For the love of God, Anastasia, what do I have to do? Tell me about yourself. Tell me you love me. This is in her head. Those are the correct answers. Because he hasn't told her anything. Again, the movies outdid this in the book. In the book, he's told her nothing. Absolutely nothing other than I want you to do X. With no explanation as to why. And she needs the why. I get that. She's still an idiot and she shouldn't be anywhere around him and he should be in a mental ward or a jail cell or both. Why did you think I would leave when I told you Dr. Flynn had told me all there was to know about you? Which, by the way, worst therapist ever. Second worst splits the worst. He sighs heavily, closing his eyes for a moment, and for the longest time he doesn't answer. Yes, I'm including Split being worse over movies where the therapist fucks their patient and ends in a murder suicide or some shit like that. Split is still worst. You cannot begin to understand the depths of my depravity, Anastasia, and it's not something I want to share with you. Actually, it is. That is why you were attracted to her in the first place, because you wanted to use her as the punching bag slash fuck doll for the depths of your depravity. So yeah, you totally wanted to expose her to all that. That's the entire point, idiot. And you really think I'd leave if I knew? My voice is high, incredulous. Doesn't he understand that I love him? Since when? Do you think so little of me? Yes. I know you'll leave, he says sadly. Christian, I think it's very unlikely. I can't imagine being without you. Ever. Okay, seriously, unless you are like 14 or 15, you don't get to love like this. I remember being that age. I had a summer where I was very deeply in love with a guy that, honest to God, and I've said this since I was 15, if he showed up and knocked on my door right now and said, "Come with me, baby, get in my car," I'm gone. That's just how it is. That's never going to happen. I'm never going to see him again in the entirety of my life, but I loved him with everything that was possible to love another person. And he loved me too. And it just wasn't meant to be. We went our separate ways. A few years later, we had one day together, and that was it. And I'll never see him again, but I will love him till the day I die. And I will never forget him. But you have to be 15 or 16 to love like that because you're young and stupid and you don't know any better. So you love on 100. You love on 1,000,000. You love with all the soul and galaxy. There is no limit because you don't know any better because you haven't been burned yet. And him calling me on the last day of summer, literally the most cliche ever, and telling me that his mother had threatened to throw him out of the house if he didn't break up with me because she personally disapproved of me. Yeah, let's just say I learned a lot about broken hearts and I cried for months. Like that scene, I can't believe I'm referencing this as a good thing, but this is like the one good shot in the whole movie. That scene in the second Twilight movie where Bella's sitting in the chair and the camera just spins around her and you can see time moving and the seasons changing. That was actually really creative and a really good shot. But it was like that for, I think I cried for him for like a year, probably. But I've had relationships since then. I've been in love since then, but never like that. Because you never do it again after your first because you don't know any better. Okay, really, I'm gonna get a highlighter, I swear. So what else? Nope, that's not where it is. Nope, where was I? You left me once. I don't want to go there again. Elena said she saw you last Saturday. I whisper quietly. She didn't. He frowns. You didn't go to see her when I left? No, he snaps, irritated. I just told you I didn't. And I don't like to be doubted. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like, she has every reason to believe you're lying about so much right now. I didn't go anywhere last weekend. I sat and made the glider you gave me. It took me forever, he adds quietly. My heart clenches again. Mrs. Robinson said she saw him. Did she or didn't she? She's lying? Why? I would be way more inclined to believe that he's lying because until I know why, Elena has no reason to lie to her. Contrary to what Elena thinks, I don't rush to her with all my problems, Anastasia. I don't rush to anybody. You may have noticed, I'm not much of a talker. And yet you literally do run to your former mistress a lot and you have a therapist. So yes, you are a talker, you just are very selective about who you talk to. He tightens his hold on the steering wheel. Carrick told me you didn't talk for 2 years. Did he now? Christian's mouth presses into a hard line. I kind of pumped him for information. Embarrassed, I stare at my fingers. What else did Daddy say? He said your mom was the doctor who examined you when you were brought into the hospital after you were discovered in your apartment. Christian's expression remains blank. Careful. He said learning the piano helped. And Mia. His lips curl in a fond smile at the mention of her name. After a moment, he says, she was about 6 months old when she arrived. when she arrived. What? She was about 6 months old when she arrived. I was thrilled. Elliot less so. He'd already had to contend with my arrival, so she was perfect. I'm sorry, is Mia adopted too, or all the kids adopted because we needed to rip that off directly from Twilight? I thought Christian was the only adopted one, but they seem to be saying that Mia is as well. Yeah, if I missed that, then I fucking missed that. Like, but seriously, is the book even sure? It might not be. Less so now, of course, he murmurs, and I recall her successful attempts at the ball to thwart our lascivious intentions. It makes me giggle. Christian gives me a sidewise glance. You find that amusing, Miss Steele. He's always about to be a bastard when he calls her by her, like, last name. It's such a stupid thing. Ugh. Sorry, having sniffly moment. 2 seconds. And you know when you search for a thing and it's just not where you left it to be? That's not where I left that, 'cause there's things. Nope, wrong, nope, nope, nope. Okay, internet, can you just possibly try to? Nope, 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 nope. The internet is not being my friend right now. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can find a thing. It's also a billion degrees here, by the way. It was really nice last week. It genuinely was so nice because it cooled down. It was actually like 13 degrees overnight. So nice. Oh, it was comfortable. So good. But now it's back to being roughly a billion degrees. Like, it is 20 minutes from being 10 o'clock and it's still 32 degrees. So, no, forgive me if I'm sweaty and my makeup be like melting. Like, I had to put this eyeliner on about 4 times before going live because I kept like wiping my face and then I was wiping it off because I was wiping my face. She seems determined to keep us apart. He laughs mirthlessly. Yes, she's quite accomplished. He reaches across and squeezes my knee, but we got there in the end. He smiles and glances at the rearview mirror once more. I don't think we've been followed. He heads off the I-5 and heads back to central Seattle. Can I ask you something about Elena? We're stopped at some traffic lights. He gazes at me, wary. If you must, he mutters sullenly, but I don't let his irritability deter me. You told me ages ago that she loved you in a way you found acceptable. What does that mean? Isn't it obvious? Yes. I both get the question and her not getting it. Not to me. I was out of control. I couldn't bear to be touched. I can't bear it now. For a 14, 15-year-old adolescent boy with hormones raging, it was a difficult time. She showed me a way to let off steam. Oh, Mia said you were a brawler. Christ, what is it with my loquacious family? Put down the thesaurus, you are not worthy. Actually, it's you. We've stopped at more traffic lights and narrows his eyes at me. You've been uh, my dyslexia going what the fuck F. Inveigle. I have no idea what the fuck that word is. I'm not even convinced it is a real word. If you know what this word is or how to say it, please leave it in the chat or comments. Feel free to call me an idiot if you want to, but I am dyslexic, and what the ever actual fuck is Inveigle. I'm going to say that's not a word until somebody tells me otherwise and I can hear it pronounced as an actual word. Information out of people. He shakes his head in mock disgust. Mia volunteered that information. Inveigle. It's not a good word. This is a bad word. In fact, she was very forthcoming. She was worried you'd start a brawl in the tent if you didn't win me at the auction. I mutter indignantly. Oh, baby, there was no danger of that. There was no way I would let anyone else dance with you. Everybody knew this. You let Dr. Flynn. He was always the exception to the rule. So what kind of pervert is he? Because he definitely is, or Christian wouldn't trust him. Christian pulls me into the impressive leafy driveway of the Fairmount Olympia Hotel. Leafy driveway. Somebody tell me what leafy driveway means. Do you mean leaf covered? Is it fall? Because I thought it was winter and now it's spring. But I could be wrong. Leafy driveway is not good words. And parks at the front door beside a quaint stone fountain. Come. He climbs out of the car and retrieves our luggage. A valet rushes to us, looking surprised. No doubt at our late arrival. Christian tosses him the car keys. Why do you have a valet at 3:30 in the morning? Like, I'm sorry, but that's a waste of money. Name of Taylor, he says. Valet nods and can't contain his glee as he leaps into the R8. I gotta Google what this car is if it's like so like spank. And drives off. Christian takes my hand and strides into the lobby. As I stand beside him at the reception desk, I feel utterly ridiculous. Here I am in Seattle's most prestigious hotel, dressed in an oversized denim jacket, oversized sweatpants, and an old t-shirt next to this elegant Greek god. No wonder the receptionist is looking from one to the other as if the equation doesn't add up. Of course, she's overawed at Christian. I'm surprised that's one word. I roll my eyes as she flushes crimson and stutters. Even her hands are shaking. Okay, seriously? This is the effect he has on just literally everybody. Ugh. Like, I have another book series about vampires with actual magical seduction powers, and they don't charm people this much. Uh, do you need a hand with your bags, Mr. Taylor? She asks, going scarlet again. No, Mrs. Taylor and I can manage. Mrs. Taylor? But I'm not wearing a ring. I put my hands behind my back. People sometimes don't wear rings. Chill. Also, like, people in hotels don't fucking let 3:30 in the morning. He's gonna think you're a hooker, darling. Like, it doesn't matter. You're in the Cascade Suite, Mr. Taylor, 11th floor. Our bellboy will help you with your bags. We're fine, Christian says curtly. Where are the elevators? Miss Flushing Crimson explains, and Christian grasps my hand once more. I glance briefly around the impressive, sumptuous lobby full of overstuffed chairs. Des- deserted, I think. My brain's not clicking, but I'm fairly certain the word is deserted, save for a dark haired woman sitting on a cozy sofa. That's a weird word. I'm sorry, my brain's not recovered from the other word. Dyslexia lingers a little bit. And yeah, anything dessert, like plays havoc. So that's what that is. And it's linger. If I hadn't seen the other word first, I would have been fine. Feeding tidbits to her Westie. She glances up and smiles at us as we make our way to the elevators. So the hotel allows pets. Odd for a place so grand. No, actually, it's not. The grander the hotel, the more likely they are to accommodate pets because the people staying there can afford to pay for whatever the fuck their pets do. So it's just more money. So they're cool with it. Same as like luxury hotels. They don't give a flying fuck if you want the room for 2 days or 2 months. As long as you have the money, they don't care. The suite has 2 bedrooms, a formal dining room, and comes complete with a grand piano. A log fire blazes in the massive main room. Why do you need that? The suite is bigger than my apartment. Well, Mrs. Taylor, I don't know about you, but I really would like a drink, Christian murmurs. Uh, in the bedroom, he puts my case and his satchel on the ottoman at the foot of the king-size four-poster bed and leads me into the main room where the fire is burning brightly. It's a welcome sight, and I stand and warm my hands as Christian fixes us both a drink. Amar, uh, arm, armat, armat, ar, some kind of alcohol. ARMAGNAC? Yeah. ARMAGNAC. I've never heard of this. It's some kind of booze. It probably fancy smancy or something like that. Please. After a moment, he joins me by the fire and hands me a crystal brandy glass. Oh, so it's some kind of brandy. It's been quite a day. Oh, it's probably like a brand name. That's why I don't know it. I'm a vodka slash like white wine bitch, so I don't like yeah, but it's some kind of brandy probably that I've never heard of. Maybe we don't have it here, or it's just like super fancy, so I've never heard of it. It's been quite a day, huh? I nod, and his gaze is searching, concerned. I'm okay, I whisper reassuringly. How about you? Well, right now I'd like to drink this and then, if you're not too tired, take you to bed and lose myself in you. Could he state more clearly that she is only there to be a thing that he comes into when he needs stress relief? Like she's a stress relief ball. I wish I had one right now. I really wish I had one right now. My puppy, who was also named Christian, no, not after this book, found one once. We went for a walk. We weren't even like 2 blocks from the house, and I just looked down, and he's got this blue ball in his mouth that he just found on the street. We were passing a large corporate building, and it had some corporate logo. It was obviously some bullshit swag, and it was a gel stress ball, but it was really well constructed. Trust me. And it had some corporate logo that matched the building behind it. Clearly, somebody got given this as swag and they didn't want it, so they just dropped it on the street. And Puppy went, "Oh, a ball, mine." And because when I looked at him, and I was like, "Where'd you get that?" He was like, "What? What ball? I don't have a ball. What ball?" The ball's in his mouth the whole time as he's doing. He's like, "What? Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me. I don't have a ball. I brought this from home. This is mine. This is mine from home. You don't see this. This is my ball. I'm keeping this. You're not getting it from me." Because I put my hand down and was like, "Gimme," and he was like, "No." And I was like, "Gimme." He's like, "Come on, mom. Come on. It's mine. I found it. I get to keep it. That's the rules. It's mine. Give it to me." It's like, okay, I'm extremely reluctantly, but I'm not putting it fully in your hand. I'm just gonna open my mouth and let you take it. He was not a happy dog. He did get to keep it, and that was his favorite toy for years. And it like this is a dog who could skin and eat a tennis ball in about 5 minutes. I think he equated skinning a tennis ball with like skinning a mouse because he knew how to do it. But buy him a tennis ball, he'd chew a little hole in the like fuzzy part, and then it literally strip it off. It strips about like literally like 7 minutes. He could strip a tennis ball, all the fur off it till it was just a brown ball underneath, and then he was very satisfied and would play with the rubber ball. But it like he had won something by stripping the fur off this tennis ball. And also any toy that had a squeaker. Oh god, I learned not to buy these quickly. Because anything that had a squeaker, he knew how to use the tiny teeth in front of his fangs as like a stitch ripper and ripped out the stitches on the fluffy toys until he burrowed his nose in and found the squeaker and destroyed it. And that meant he won somehow. You know, that was like I have killed it and I am Puppy and I rule the universe. And then you play with the remnants of the stuffed animal for like the rest of the year, but he had to kill it first. You know, it offended his puppy presence, so he'd spend an hour or two like literally ripping the heart out of it, I guess, in his mind. But yeah, man, that stress ball that was his cherished possession. Uh, I suspect we're coming up on sexy time because, like you said, he wants to bury himself in her. Also, his answer to everything is sex. I blush into my glass. The whatever liquor that is delicious. Again, Armagnac. If you know what the fuck this is, let me know. Leaving a burning warmth in its wake as it glides silkily down my throat. It's definitely expensive. When I glance up at Christian, he's sipping his brandy, watching me with his dark, hungry eyes. So confirmed it's some kind of brandy that I've never heard of. I probably with cherries, it's probably really good. I don't think I've ever had brandy. Like brandy's an expensive drink to begin with, so not surprised I've never been offered, but you never cease to amaze me, Anastasia. After a day like today, or yesterday rather, you're not whining or running off into the hills screaming. I mean, all of you. You're very strong. Bull fucking shit. She's not strong at all. She doesn't know what it is. But she's got no defined personality, therefore she has nothing to resist. So, yeah, she's actually pathetically weak. You're a very good reason to stay, I murmur. I told you, Christian, I'm not going anywhere. No matter what you've done, you know how I feel about you. This is the scene from Twilight when Edward tells Bella he murdered bad people, and she's totally cool with it. Even though she should run screaming for the hills because he's a monster. And he even admits that he puts up pheromones that make her love him whether she wants to or not. So their whole relationship is non-consensual if you really think about it. Also, 117-year-old guy standing in the bedroom of the 14-year-old watching her sleep in her panties is still creepy. His mouth twists as if he doubts my words, or his brow creases as if what I'm saying is painful for him to hear. Oh, Christian, what do I have to do to make you realize how I feel? Well, the two of you could have a conversation, because you don't do that, ever. But you could try. Let him beat you, my subconscious sneers. Also correct. I scowl inwardly at her. Where are you going to hang Jose's portraits of me? I try to lighten the mood. How is that lightening the mood? By reminding him that he spent like $125,000 buying portraits that were illegally taken and publicly portrayed of you from your former like friend slash sexual assaulter. That depends. His lips twitch. This is obviously a much more palatable topic of conversation for him. I'm surprised he hasn't already burned them just so nobody will ever see them, and I also bet you that he has. Circumstances, he says mysteriously. His show's not over yet, so Norm just decides straight away. I'm sorry, do they remain on display even though they're sold? Probably yes, is actually the answer to that. Because, if you took things down when they were sold, like the show would look different. So yeah, probably it's only delivered once the show is over, so they're still on display. By the way, she still has every legal right to make Jose take them the fuck down because she never gave him permission to A, take the pictures. He apparently took these all by snapshot. He took these all without her knowledge somehow. But they're on public display in a major exhibit. That now that they were all about, I guarantee you somebody wrote an article about it. So there's going to be more publicity of these photos, but they're still on display. When again, she didn't give her permission, and a museum apparently did not check that the artist had a consent form from this model. Really? Well, Saturday got abruptly halted. We have to finish, so we start on time. I have a schedule in my head that makes no sense, but we will follow it. Also, Saturday, there's going to be surprises. Quack, 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 quack. Not that I'm saying anything, or that anything is supposed to arrive on time, and Amazon better not screw me over. He's a good friend. He's here for friend points, but also an animal lover, so talk. Is Sasha roaming the world chasing chickens and rabbits? Because, that's what she'd rather be doing. She was only making up for lost time. You can't be mad. Hey, I may have been thoroughly trashed and getting trashed and being mocked and publicly made fun of by someone I thought was my friend who was then mocking me and absolutely taking the piss. So, yeah, I hit bail. Maybe I should or shouldn't have done that, but I had enough of being beaten around for one night, so. No. Only half. She's being generous. I think he's saying, hello, I'm a person. Person. I cock my head to one side and narrow my eyes. You can look as sternly as you like, Mrs. Taylor. I'm saying nothing, he teases. For anyone who just got here, they're checked in under Taylor's name to a hotel because they think that Ghost Girl is in the apartment with a gun. Um, and are too stupid to call the police. Again, a world where back when I don't have these posted right now, I gotta throw these up. I did a few movie reviews years ago. I was trying to jumpstart YouTube for the first of like 5 times. But I had like awards at the end of movies, one of which was we don't need no stinking badges for the movie existing in a world where like police don't exist because there were so many points where somebody would have called the police or the police would have like been involved or something or just shown up. But in this world, the police don't exist, so they don't. Yeah, 50 Shades is definitely getting we don't need no stinking badges award because, of course, you would call the police. Christ's sake. I may torture the truth from you. He means it. He raises his eyebrows. Really, Anastasia, I don't think you should make promises you can't fulfill. Oh my, what is that what he thinks? I place the glass on the mantelpiece, reach over, and much to Christian's surprise, take his glass and place it beside mine. Because you're proving what with this, you idiot bitch? Like, honestly, she's so stupid. We'll just have to see about that, I murmur, very bravely, emboldened by the brandy, which has not had time to have any effect. No, I forget, she's bulimic, so she's drinking hard liquor on an empty stomach. It might have gone straight to her head. Oh, I'm sorry. Her name is Anna. She's anorexic. Forgive me. I correct myself. Same problem applies. At the foot of the bed, I stop. Christian's trying to hide his amusement. Now that you have me here, Anastasia, what are you going to do with me? He teases, his voice low. That's a line from something better than Twilight, and I don't remember what it is. I'm going to start by undressing you. I want to finish what I started earlier. I reach for the lapels on his jacket, careful not to touch him. He doesn't flinch, but he's holding his breath. Gently, I push his jacket over his shoulders, and his eyes stay on mine. All traces of hue are gone as they grow larger, burning into me, wary and needful. There's so many interpretations of his look. What is he thinking? I place his jacket on the ottoman. Why are you putting clothes on the floor? Yeah, Taylor is definitely ever present. Like, did Christian like save this guy's life in a former like, and now he's, the now I belong to you ninja thing? Like, seriously. It works. I love the hard hands so much. Hard hands are great. Yeah, like seriously. Like again, I am somebody who has touch issues. But when I am with somebody in person and physically, they're well aware of that in advance. They know what not to do, kind of thing. I make that clear. Not that it isn't a problem in the real world. Like I said, y'all know the story. I was at a house party. I broke a fucking, sunglass tumbler in my hand, and the guy whose house it was, sorry to him, uh, thought I'd slice the fuck out of my hand and told his daughter to get his bag, and I was fine. They didn't believe me. And then my friend lied to me and said, no, the entire house didn't hear you scream like a girl. And it was his fault. Because he knew not to come up behind me and touch my back like that. And he knew because I told him he didn't understand, obviously. And I get that. And I try to remember that. But I told him when it's a crowded house party like that, like I have to rein in my PTSD radar so I'm not as aware of somebody walking up behind me, and I just didn't feel him walking up behind me, and then he made the idiot mistake, and he knew better of actually touching my back without my knowing it and or asking, and don't do that. And so yeah, I was drinking a glass of orange juice, and I went boom, and literally threw it on the wall behind me, threw it on the wallpaper, and snapped the very thick tumbler glass with sunflowers on it into two pieces, and nobody could believe that I didn't slice the crap out of my hand, but my hand closed so fast and hard that it just snapped into two clean pieces instead of cutting me up. which, if that happened, totally my fault. And I felt so bad about breaking the glass because it was clearly old. It was clearly part of a set that they'd had for like ever, and I felt so bad. And I told them like I'll pay for it or I'll buy a new one. They were like, it's fine. And he's like, get my bag to his daughter. And he kept like looking at my hand because he couldn't believe that I wasn't cut up. And because it's a dissociative thing, I don't remember the moment of throwing the glass or snapping it. So I looked at my friend because I'm like coming back a couple minutes later and I'm like, did I scream? And he was like, yeah, but I don't think everyone heard. Yeah, we're in a bungalow with like 50 people within like 10 feet. Everybody heard. But I give him points for being a good friend and lying to me in that moment. You know, I hate that he lied to me, but also it's probably the right thing to do in the moment. It was probably the right answer. Because I was like really embarrassed and about to have like a crying meltdown for making a scene that I didn't mean to. Now that you have, wait, we're past it. Now your t-shirt, I whisper and lift it by the hem. He cooperates, raising his arms and backing away, making it easier for me. Now I'm getting stuffy. Really? Now I'm getting stuffy. It's 10 o'clock. It's 2 hours past when I'm supposed to get stuffy from all the pollen. Wearing just his jeans that hang so provocatively from his hips, the band of his boxer briefs is visible. My eyes move hungrily across his taut stomach to the remains of the lipstick line. Seriously, at the time, there's no lipstick that's gonna last like 3 days like this. It's gone. He's showered multiple times. He's changed clothes. There's no freaking lipstick. Faded and smudged, and then up to his chest. I want nothing more than to run my tongue through his chest hair and savor his taste. 1 points for misspelling savor because I'm Canadian and has a you, fuck you. And also, no. I'm sorry, but chest hair and licking, no. No, 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 no. 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 You what? I take his hand. You better lie down then, I murmur, and lead him to the side of the four-poster. Also, what hotel is a fucking four-poster bed? It's way too much of a liability. There's a reason they don't have them anymore. He seems bewildered, and it occurs to me that perhaps no one has taken the lead with him since her. No, don't go there. Oh, because you think you're reenacting his abuse right now, but you're going to continue? Lifting the covers, he sits on the edge of the bed, gazing up at me, waiting. His expression is wary and serious. I stand before him and slip off his denim jacket. So they're both wearing denim jackets. When did this happen? I think she just forgot pronouns. And I let it drop to the floor. Then I shuffle out of his sweatpants. Oh, she's saying she's taking off his clothes. Okay, my misreading. They're his clothes because she had clothes there. He bought her whole wardrobe. Why is she wearing his clothes? Why am I asking? Shut up. I rub his thumb over the tip. He rubs his thumb over the tips of his fingers. He's itching to touch me, I can tell, but he suppresses the urge for the first time in the history of ever. Taking a deep breath and beyond courageous, I reach for the hem of my t-shirt and lift it over my head, so I'm naked before him. I guess she wasn't wearing panties? His eyes don't leave mine, but he swallows and his lips part. You're Aphrodite, Anastasia. He murmurs, now I want to sing Tal Bachman. I clasp his face in my hands and tip his head up and then bend to kiss him. He groans low in his throat. Then I place my mouth on his and he grabs my hips. And before I know it, I'm pinned beneath him. His legs forcing mine apart, so he's cradled against my body between my legs. That took like 1 second. She kissed him and he just went boom and is like about to, yeah. He's about to drive it in hard in about 1 second. Again, if this is consensual, that's great, but this isn't. He's kissing me, ravaging my mouth. Our tongues entwined. His hand trails from my thigh over my hips, along my belly to my breasts, squeezing, kneading, and pulling enticingly on my nipple. I groan and tilt my pelvis involuntarily against him. If finding a delicious friction against the seam of his fly. Ow! Okay, we're talking about denim and zipper being rubbed against your CLIT. Ow! And also no, because I've had friction burns on the kitty and they're not great. Still recovering at the moment, and ow! Like yesterday, I had to get up several times and stand because I could not sit because of friction burns on the kitty. Can I get a parody video of this, please? Like seriously, SNL, somebody who is like king of parody. Somebody make this happen, please. You know, I I I I, I don't think I have a nun costume. Damn it! I can make one. I can do the Whoopi Goldberg. I will fake the shit out of something. I'm very good with safety pins and glue. You know, also ducks are coming on Saturday, so everybody come and celebrate the ducks because they're finally here. I'm still working on building their platform, but it will exist in some fashion. I I I need to test glue some things and make sure they're gonna hold up. And also camera test some high shit. But I've got a plan that will work. Mostly. Well, it'll work. It'll be there. There will be ducks. Okay. The point is there will be ducks. It's gonna be a little and simple for now, but there's a greater plan for the ducks. I'm probably gonna, you know what? I think at this point I'm gonna save it for Christmas. I'm gonna do a really Christmas spectacular with the ducks if I can make it happen. I've got some logistics to figure out, but I'll try. As I place my mouth on his, he grabs my hips and blah blah blah. Until my pelvis. I close my eyes and moan as he does it again, but this time I push back, relishing his answering moan, and he kisses me again. He continues this slow, delicious torture, rubbing him, and he's right, getting lost in him. It's intoxicating to the exclusion of everything else. All my worries are obliterated, and I'm here in this moment with him, my blood singing in my veins, thrumming loudly through my ears, mixed with the sound of our panting breaths. I bury my hands in his hair, holding him to my mouth, consuming him, my tongue as avarice as his. I trail his fingers down towards my arm, pushing me down his lower back to the waistband of his jeans, and I push my intrepid, greedy hands inside, urging him on and on, forgetting everything else except us. He's literally dry humping her, and she's like about to see God. Like, seriously, somebody chemically test this woman. She's fucking whacked. Like, or he's just literally. Anybody see the Buffy episode with Ted? I think his name was Ted. It was a joke on several movies at the time. But the Buffy episode, spoilers for a show that's 30 years old. But the Buffy episode where Joyce starts dating a new guy who I think his name is Ted, and he's revealed to be a robot, but he's basically giving them cookies with LSD in them at the time to make them like them. I fully believe that Christian is doing this. You're going to unman me, Anastasia, he whispers suddenly, breaking away from me and kneeling up. He briskly pulls down his jeans and hands me a foil packet. Okay, you can't just say hands me a condom. Why the fuck is it foil packet? Because quite frankly, most of them here now come in clear plastic. They're them in foil in a. I don't think ever in my lifetime. I don't think I've ever handled a foil condom. So granted, I don't usually buy condoms because I'm allergic to latex, and there was only one buyer. There's two now, so prices have gone down, which is great for me. If I was getting any, which I need to do so bad, you know, for a certain price, but. But even still, I don't remember condoms like even when I was like 16. Because I've never had sex without a condom. And that's actually true. I don't remember any of them ever being in foil. Plastic, yes. Foil, no. And yes, I had sex using latex condoms before I knew I was allergic to latex and just thought that that sex had, that didn't, or that it caused, let's just say there was confusion and nobody understood, okay? Yes, and also, yes! Yes, it is, which is always so goddamn sus. Also, she is already under his control, and as far as he's aware, is taking birth control. So why does he still have condoms? Like, this leads me to like a third level conspiracy theory where like he just jumps out of his chauffeured limousine and rapes random women in an alleyway with a condom so he doesn't leave DNA because he's that's like sexually like, you know what I'm saying? I really think that it was. I think that this book was a test version of multiple chat GPAs. And like when it sold so big, that's how they knew the technology was viable or at least profitable. Um, you want me, baby, and I sure as hell want you. You know what to do. With anxious, dexterous fingers, I rip open the foil and unroll the condom over him. She doesn't say anything about pinching the tip. Always pinch the tip to get the air out so that there's room for the semen when the guy comes, otherwise it'll break and flood into you, defeating the purpose of the condom. So always pinch the tip when applying. That's the point of the tip. I grasp his arms and tilt my chin up, revealing the exquisitely full feeling of his possession. That makes no sense at all. He runs his teeth along my chin and eases back and then slides into me again. Don't bite my face. You're not Hannibal Lecter. I can't believe I just said that and I'm crossing that over with this. I'm deleting that from my brain and I'm gonna vomit that I even said that. And also, fuck this book. You make me forget everything. I'm literally nauseous. My stomach is like churning that I said that name in relation to this. I'm like gonna puke myself because how dare you on my beloved character that I'm writing my own trashy fan pickup where I do what I want and make them my bitch. I'm the bitch, but that's okay. Mm. Snickerdoodles, I don't think you've seen my twisted fanfic because it's not your taste, but I know you know my love for the character because I've had, when it's been mentioned in certain recent arenas. So if you ever want to read, let me know. I will send you part 1 of 5 currently right now. And yes, I know. For those actually keeping up, part 5 has been stalled for quite a while. I know, okay? The month of August is fucking hell. Summer is hell. So I didn't get fuck all done. But I'm getting back at it and we'll get finished. It's up to like 12 pages. That's like 4 to 10 pages from being like a cold part. So, and I know the rest of it. It's in my head. I just haven't had the, I haven't been stable enough to sit and write, basically. So we'll see. It'll get there. I know the end of the story. It'll get finished. It'll just take a while. But also open offer on parts 1 for 4 or anyone who knows. And also shout out to my PayPal survival plan. At least once this is impromptu, so once is enough. There you go. One of these days I'm going to remember to post a link to my freaking Patreon, which I actually have one on, but I got to manage. But for now, yeah, PayPal survival fund. That's my, and Twitter, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please, Christian, faster. I murmur, wanting more now. Oh no, baby. I need this slow. He's never slow. He is never, ever, 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 ever slow. He is in her and done in 5 seconds. I move my hands into his hair and surrender myself to his rhythm as slowly and surely my body climbs higher and higher and plateaus and then falls hard and fast as I come around him. Oh, Anna, he breathes as he lets go. My name a benediction on his lips as he finds release. I feel like she stole that line. I feel like I genuinely feel like I read like my name is a benediction on his lips. I feel like I genuinely read that line somewhere else. I really, 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 really do. I really feel like that was stolen from something much better. I know. Do you think I didn't use that in high school in classes where I didn't care enough to give a flying fuck? She doesn't know what good sex is. Seriously, I know, right? Seriously, if we take the adage that people write what they know, which is true, because where I struggle most. I'm not a good dialogue writer. That's my thing. I am like, you know, George Lucas and M. Night Shyamalan. I'm great at world building, not so great at dialogue. So if I ever actually wrote a script for publication, not that this might not, I'm kind of, my brain's, you never know what might happen someday. But if I was ever writing a movie or screenplay or adaptation, I'm great at world building, but I would hire somebody else and be like, "Hey, I will build your world for you. I will paint you a beautiful picture, and I will give you so much context. And I have a few lines here and there, but really, if you want a long conversation scene, you're gonna have to like bring in a second stringer here because I'm not your person for dialogue. Okay, I sound like M. Night Shyamalan writing dialogue, not in his good movies, in like old. That's what I sound like. And yeah, somebody really needs to look into her marriage and make sure she's actually okay. I maintain that. Like, if it someday comes out that, she was chained in a basement writing this with, while her husband whipped her, really, would we be surprised? No. No, what? I don't know what you're referring to. You're going to have to be more specific. I ran quickly. Keep up. His head rests on my belly, and his arms wrapped around me, and my fingers forage in his unruly hair, and we lie like this for I don't know how long. It's so late, and I'm so tired, and I just want to enjoy the quiet, serene afterglow of making love with Christian Grey, because that's what we've done. Are you sure? Gentle, sweet lovemaking. Bullshit, you fucking liar. He's come a long way, as have I. No, he hasn't. You have. He has not. It's almost too much to absorb. That's the fucking point, you idiot. With all the fucked up stuff, I'm losing sight of his simple, honest journey with me because you don't have one. He's been brainwashing and manipulating you and breaking you down psychologically till he can just own you and reprogram you in perpetuity, which is exactly what he does. I will never get enough of you. Don't leave me, he murmurs and kisses my belly. I'm not going anywhere. Foreshadowing badly. Christian, I seem to remember I wanted to kiss your belly. I grumble sleepily. He grins against my skin. Nothing stopping you now, baby. I don't think I can move. I'm so tired. Christian sighs and shifts reluctantly, coming to lie beside me, with his head on his elbow, dragging the covers over us. He gazes down at me, his eyes glowing, warm and loving. He's not capable. Sleep now, baby. He kisses my hair and wraps his arms around me, and I drift. When I open my eyes, the light is filling the room, making me blink. My head's fuzzy from lack of sleep. Where am I? Oh, the hotel. Hi, Christian murmurs, smiling fondly. He's lying beside me, fully dressed on top of the bed. How long has he been here? Since 5 minutes after he fell asleep. Hi, I murmur, grateful that I'm lying on my front because suddenly he can't see your tits, girl. Like, you think he doesn't have a billion photos? There isn't an internet shrine dedicated to you under his personal passcode? Are you stupid? Which one? Oh! Oh, the happening! What? No. Yes. No, I know the happening. Yes, I know the Mark Wahlberg, the plan. What? No. Yes, I know. I know. I know. I thought you were referencing the book. So I didn't get the happening reference. No, I know the happening. I don't defend that movie. I do defend Signs. Fuck you people who don't understand Signs. Signs is a fucking great movie, so is The Village. Fuck you if you don't understand that. Also, watch Chris Stuckman break down Signs and you will apologize, bitch. But I do not defend The Happening. I do not defend Lady in the Water. Um, he had a cabin one recently. There were like 5 movies that were all the same that came out at the same time, and I can't remember. He had a excuse me, he had one When a Stranger Knocks, The Cabin, something recently, and that was a couple years ago. Now he's got another one. He's on a hot streak. The Visit is a good movie. I did call it in the first 5 seconds, but it's a really fucking good movie. It's the only found footage, let's just say they take liberties, movie that I will ever defend. The Visit is a fucking good movie. It's really good. Knock at the Cabin Door. Thank you for Syncity. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm going to. I want to, and I know he's got a new one, like pretty much right about now, or it's on the festival circuit right now. I'm not sure it's been mainstream released yet, but it will be soon. If it hasn't been the last couple of weeks, it's really really recent. Knock at the Cabin. You're right. I mean, I need to see that. I really do, because I have followed M. Night Shyamalan since Sixth Sense came out when I was like 12. I saw something and I'm stuck with him, even through his bad movies and studios not fucking understanding somebody with vision, because he does have it. Also, Unbreakable was one of his early successes. I don't like that movie. I never did. The fact that years later he made Split as spoiler, the unofficial sequel, I hated that. Cut that last scene out. I'm sorry. Cut the last scene out. Don't make it part of the universe. I have not seen Glass because I heard it was fucking shit. So I haven't seen it. But Split by itself, if you cut that universe building bullshit scene out, is a good movie. Really, really good. And James McAvoy, Jesus Christ. As if you needed a new Trap. That's what it's Trap or something like that. I didn't hear because I was getting confused with Witness or The Witnesses, or the movie with the two-way mirror locked room bullshit that Criminal Minds already did. But yeah, it was something like that, and yeah, so didn't watch it, but we'll see. Hi, I murmur, grateful that I'm lying on my front. How long have you been watching me? I could watch you sleep for hours, Anastasia, but I've only been here for about 5 minutes. He leans over and kisses me gently. Dr. Green will be here shortly. Oh, I'd forgotten about Christian's inappropriate intervention. Really? Are you fucking kidding me? It's just called Trap? I didn't say it wasn't, did I? I'm sorry if I did. Is that literally just what it's called? Is it out? Is it full release, or is it just on the festival circuit? Because I don't think I've seen a theatrical release date yet, or a trailer. Is it actually out, or is it just being workshopped? Oh, I'd forgotten. Did you sleep well? He inquires mildly. Certainly seemed like it to me, with all that snoring. Oh, playful, teasing 50. No, he's being a jackass. Also, apparently he never sleeps, so I think he does a lot of coke secretly. And do not snore, I pout petulantly. No, you don't. He grins at me. The faint line of red lipstick still visible around his neck. Did you shower? No, I was waiting for you. Oh, okay. Because you did? It is out now? Really? Oh, I really might. Oh, God, if I could. Really, if I could. If there was one movie that could make me, like, go out and go to a theater, because that's one thing I can do. I can go to a movie and watch a movie on my own in ways. There's preparation, but I can. Yeah, wow. If I could afford, like, theater tickets are like $25, so if I could afford it, that is a movie that I would make the effort for to be in public and watch, because it would be worth it. If I could, and if it's playing near me, because again, like, I don't know, but no, I'm waiting for you. Oh, okay. What time is it? 10:15. I didn't have the heart to wake you earlier. You told me you didn't have a heart at all. By the way, doesn't she have a fucking job? Doesn't she have a job? Like, she's somebody's assistant and editing something. She has a fucking job. He smiles sadly but doesn't move. Breakfast is here. Pancakes and bacon for you. Come, get up. I'm getting lonely out here. He swats me sharply on the behind, making me jump, and rises from the bed. So now he just beats her whenever the fuck he wants. And I'm sorry, no, it's not cute, and it's not a couple saying it. It's not like, oh, no. As I stretch, I'm aware I ache all over. No doubt the result of all the sex, dancing, and teetering in expensive high-heeled shoes. I stagger out of the bed and make my way onto the sumptuously appointed bathroom while going over the events of the previous day in my mind. When I come out, I don one of the overly fluffy bathrobes that hang on a brass peg in the bathroom. Okay, Debbie. Layla, the girl who looks like me, has the most startling image my brain conjures for conjecture. And then her eerie presence in Christian's bedroom. What did she want? Me? Christian? To do what? And why the fuck has she wrecked my car? Jealousy, you stupid. I'm sorry, she's too stupid to fucking exist. Christian said I would have another Audi, like all his submissives. The thought is unwelcome. Since I was so generous with the money he gave me, there's not a lot I can do. You can tell him, don't buy me the same car as all your other whores. How about that? I don't care if it's the same as the class, you motherfucking idiot. You're saying I'm different than them. I'm not your submissive. I am your girlfriend. It was supposed to be a gift, and how dare you? It's the exact same thing as taking her to the salon. It's the same thing. Because women are interchangeable. So he's telling her that she is different, but he's not treating her like she's different. He's treating her exactly the same. Same salon, same car, same clothes, same rules. Bullshit. That's what it is. She does actually have a fucking job. Yeah. She has an actual goddamn job that is not sucking his dick, and he don't pay her for doing that. So, yeah. She needs to get on with having her fucking job, and I need to get some more wine. I'll be right back. Entertain yourselves for 5 seconds, please. 2, 3, 1, up. I'm sure it was. I never learned to count like that because I actually learned how to fucking count. But I went to a school with real education. Well, partially it was Catholic, so fuck 'em. You know, my mom told them I was going to slip my wrist at the age of 5 if I had to go through second kindergarten. They were like, well, that's just the program. It doesn't matter if she's smarter than everybody else. And way more return should be jumped ahead at least 4 grades. Now we're going to make her suffer through all the lower grades because she needs to be socially whatever. Guess what? I'm 37 years old. I'm still not socially whatever, you fucking idiots. I'm a fucking sociopath. Do you not get that? I'm anti people by nature and genetics, so fuck off. I wander into the main room of the suite, no sign of Christian. I finally locate him in the dining room and I take a seat, grateful for the impressive breakfast laid before me. Christian is reading the Sunday papers and drinking coffee. In other news, on the front page, there's a picture photo of Christian Grey kidnapping a random brunette woman off the streets of Portland by throwing her over his shoulder and slapping her hard on the ass. News coverage at 6. Oh, except I forgot that in 2015, nobody had a goddamn camera phone when he did that. When he literally abducted his screaming girlfriend and physically beat her on the streets of a very public city while being a recognizable local celeb. Nobody got pictures of that. That he did that. That he totally did. You know, if he was dealing with it in the background or was on the front page the next day, I could deal with it. But nobody noticing that he fucking did that shit. And why is that? You're gonna lock me in the bedroom? The inner goddess jerks awake suddenly, all disheveled with a just fucked look. Seriously, she's schizophrenic. I'm feeling as that idea is, I thought we'd go out today. Get some fresh air. In other words, I want to be nowhere. Is it safe? I asked innocently, trying and failing to keep the irony from my voice. Okay, if you said worry, I'd believe you. Irony, you're an idiot. Christian's face falls and his mouth presses in a line. Can somebody please count how many times his mouth presses in a line on this book? Because I think it's over 100 at this point. And we're only halfway through the book. Where are we going? It is. Where we're going, it is. And it's not a joking matter. He adds sternly, narrowing his eyes, and I flushed and stared down at my breakfast. I don't feel like being scolded after all the drama and such a late night. I eat my breakfast in silence, feeling petulant. I'm sorry, if your idiot boyfriend is making you fucking feel like this, get away from him. My subconscious is shaking her head at me. 50 doesn't joke about my safety. I should know that by now. I want to roll my eyes at him, but I refrain. Do it and then smack him on the ass with a spatula. I fucking dare you. Fucking weak ass, pathetic excuse for a human being. Okay, I'm tired and testy, and I've had a long day yesterday and not enough sleep. Why, oh, why does he get to look fresh as a daisy? Life is not fair. He's rich, that's how it works. There's a knock at the door. That'll be the good doctor, Christian grumbles, obviously so smarting from my irony. He stalks from the table. Can't we just have a calm, normal morning? No! I sigh heavily, leaving half my breakfast, and get up to greet Dr. Depo Provera. Oh my god, it actually says it. It actually calls her Dr. Depo Provera, but then book proceeds to have. She doesn't use Depo Provera because that's injectable once a month or once every 4 months. And so, no, she doesn't actually use that. That's not her thing. So, why is she calling her that? Like, call her Dr. Birth Control or Dr. No Baby or something like that. Like, I'm sorry, you're not on Depo Provera. You're on the completely fictional, as of this book, mini pill, which doesn't exist, which apparently, if you take it immediately before having sex, will make you not get pregnant. Fun fact, this does not exist in real life, and that's not how birth control works. Don't ever think that it does, or you will get pregnant. But yeah, for the purpose of the book, it does. But Depo is a different thing. I know what that is because I considered it as an option, and it wasn't. But it's not at all. Like, she doesn't know what this is. This is dumb. No. It's like 4 pages left. I remind everyone the PayPal Survival link, whatever fund is at the top. That's 2 self promotions on a non night. That's a lot for me. You know, if I tweet this out, that makes 3, and that's me being a very good girl. We're in the bedroom, and Dr. Green is staring at me open mouthed. Seriously. She's dressed more casually than last time in a pale pink cashmere twin set. What is that? Pale pink cashmere twin set. Somebody tell me what a twin set in fashion is. I don't know jack about fashion. There's reasons for that. And black pants and her fine blonde hair is loose. Why wasn't this character in the movie? Seriously. She has an actual point to exist. And you just stop taking it? Just like that? I flushed, feeling beyond foolish. Yeah, also, yeah, like going off birth control and some other meds, like suddenly by literally just stopping cold turkey, can be dangerous. Like, no joke. I've gone off birth control and I've gone off psych meds where, let's just say, I was young and stupid and don't do that, ever. Because, yeah, it can fuck you up. Even if you're going off them because they're fucking you up. There's still they're toxic, is what I'm saying. You know, if they're the wrong ones. Yes. Could my voice be any smaller? You could be pregnant, she says matter of factly. What? The world falls away at my feet, and my subconscious collapses onto the floor, retching, and I think I'm going to be sick too. No, really? Really, bitch? Really, bitch? Your response to you might be pregnant, which, by the way, where is she getting? Where the fuck are. They've had sex. Have they even had sex without a condom? I cannot confirm this. I cannot confirm that they have ever actually had unprotected sex. Because again, she went on the pill, which in the realm of reality takes 5 to 6 weeks to be effective. So yes, you still have to use condoms during that time, which they are still in. Like, it's been like maximum 2, maybe 3 weeks since she started it. So they should still be using condoms the whole time. And as far as we can tell, they have. As far as we can tell, they have been using condoms this whole time. So how is she even theoretically pregnant? Also, if she is, it's like, what, 4 days? Hello, the morning after pill called and said, I can deal with this if you want me to. Or if you don't, that's your choice. But there's no pregnancy test in the world, including blood tests, by the way. If you are 4 days pregnant, I am sorry, but blood tests even are not going to be able to confirm that. Because no, you're not really pregnant yet. If you actually understand the steps of conception, if pregnancy is theoretically or beginning to occur because you had the good time 4 days ago, you're not even technically pregnant yet, okay? So, and also, I don't know what happened to the viewer count, but it spiked up to like 55 for a minute. And then went down to 15, then went down to like 4, which is where it was before and where it should be. So I don't know if we got raided or something. Nobody said anything, but it spiked up for a minute. And thankfully, we are not, from what I can tell, being trolled. So I'm going to go with that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe it was a. How is everybody liking this short hair, by the way? I forget that it's there because it's still so black and just looks. I need to dye it. I need to lighten this. Frosted tips obviously are evil, but I need to do something with this because I just look like an old lesbian with like a bad brush cut from the 70s. I don't know what I was thinking. But I need to do something. Like fire red, maybe some kind of color statement, something. I would love to do the mercury blue, but I have super dark naturally hair, so it's hard. Here, go pee in this. She's all business today, taking no prisoners. Meekly, I accept the plastic container she's offered and wander in a daze into the bathroom. No, 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 no way. No way. Please, no. No. Also, again, this test would not be worth fucking anything because the process is still occurring if it has occurred. So, no, this is not. I'm sorry, but this is stupid AF. What will 50 do? I go pale. No freak. Why do you care? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care. And I had a pregnancy scare. Guess what I didn't give a flying fuck about? What the guy who might have knocked me up gave a flying fuck about, or if I was ever tell him. Which I decided before I knew if I was or not that I was never going to tell him. And that is my fucking right. Thank God I wasn't, but I had a plan if I was. That's why I waited. I kind of tortured myself for like 3 weeks because I had pseudocyesis. So, like, and I did know that. But I also knew that there was a chance that I really was. So, yeah, I waited like 3 weeks while I worked on a plan of what I would do as if I was before I could find out because I I had to have a plan for if I was before I could find out if I was or I wasn't. I know that might sound stupid or ridiculous to some people, but I know there are people out there who can understand me. You can understand me that before you can know yes or no, you have to have a plan for if it's yes. Even if you really don't want it to be yes or this is the worst possible time in your life, you just need to know what you would do in both circumstances. Until you do, you can't know. And I know that sounds insane to some people, but that's how it was. Even though I knew I was also experiencing pseudocyesis and that I needed to know for sure. Either way, to make it stop because it would have, and it did. Thank God I wasn't, but oh, I've never been so terrified for like 3 weeks. A hand doctor greened my sample and she carefully places a small white stick in it. When did your period start? How am I supposed to think about such minutia when all I can do is stare anxiously at the white stick? Well, it's kind of important right now. Wednesday? Not the one I just not the one just gone, the one before, June 1st. Okay, so we have an actual established date of kind of this relationship. And when did you stop taking the pill? Sunday. Last Sunday. She purses her lips. Which, by the way, if you're on the pill and you suddenly stop taking it, it usually causes your period to occur immediately. So, the fact that she's not bleeding right now and therefore, like, not capable of being pregnant, like, I'm sorry, this is dumb. You should be okay, she says sharply. I can tell by your expression that an unplanned pregnancy would not be Ugh! Would not be welcome news. Some hydroxyprogesterone is a good idea. That's what I used to take when I had a specialist OBGYN, and that's what she prescribed me, was some hydroxyprogesterone. And then after I was on it and it was working for about 8 months, I didn't need a specialist anymore, so she's like, "Your family doctor can just keep prescribing this and it'll be fine." And then the second I went to my family idiot doctor, he said, "Well, if the specialist dropped you, then you obviously don't need it anymore," and refused to prescribe it, even though that was literally the cure to my being PCOS with suspected endometriosis, and I should have been on it for the last 25 years. But yeah, this is the guy who missed that I had pneumonia twice. And if you look him up on RateMD, there's other people saying he missed pneumonia in them too, and other like girl things. And then he's the rudest, most fucking psychotic asshole. Like, if I ever made a hit list, let's just say, I'm gonna hope that he's like retired and like went to Boca or some shit right now. If he's still treating people, like, God, he's so like the worst. He was in a room with me. He literally came into the room and just started like looking on a tablet and like writing notes for other people. And I was just sitting there and he didn't even acknowledge me. And I like had a meltdown because he wouldn't acknowledge me or look at me. And like, longer story, but let's just say this guy is a special place in hell. And yeah, the reason I wasn't on meds that I needed for 20 years is because he like refused he prescribed them. But he was also the person after making me like wear a blood pressure cuff for like 2 weeks, decided that, oh, even though every test possible says you have super high blood pressure that is dangerously high and is definitely causing critical damage at 16. Yeah, at 16 you can't possibly have high blood pressure. So even though all the tests say that you do, I'm gonna do nothing about it because I don't believe in it, kind of thing. This guy even had a license to begin with, I'll be surprised. You're in the clear. You're not ovulated yet, so provided you've been taking proper precautions, you shouldn't be pregnant now. Let me counsel you about this shot. We discounted it last time because of the side effects, but quite frankly, the side effects of a child are far reaching and go on for years. She smiles, pleased with herself at her little joke, and I can't begin to respond. I'm too stunned. How is that a joke? I'm sorry, that's not a joke, and this doctor is a fucking sadist as well. And also, immediately giving somebody birth control shots does not, like, again, there is an uptake time with all this shit. And she's like, well, if you can't keep up with the pill because you broke up and therefore stopped taking it because the only reason you were taking it was him. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think this person's a doctor at all. Dr. Green launches into full disclosure mode about side effects, and I sit paralyzed with relief, not listening to a word, because informed consent works that way. Though, granted, every nurse or doctor I've ever heard of thinks informed consent is words they don't need to know about and are an inconvenience to them. They don't fucking believe in it, and believe me, the number of times I've been traumatized because of it, you have no idea. I think I tolerate any number of strange women standing at the end of my bed rather than to confess to Christian that I might be pregnant. You just got told that you're not. You've been told that you're not. Shut the fuck. This is stupid. Anna, Dr. Green snaps. Let's do this thing. She pulls me out of my reverie, and I willingly roll up my sleeve. Not how these shots are done. I know people who got them while I was in school, so shut the fuck up And again, doesn't even know how to do birth control properly. I'm losing my bookmarks. My bookmarks are falling down. In other chapters, my bookmarks are falling down. I need to make like a different shape. We got like 4-ish more minutes, 3.5. Christian closes the door behind her and gazes at me warily. Everything okay? He asks. I nod mutedly, and he tilts his head to one side, his face tense with concern. Anastasia, what is it? What did Dr. Green say? I shake my head. You're good to go in 7 days, I mutter. 7 days? Yes. Anna, what's wrong? I swallow. It's nothing to worry about, please. Christian, just leave it. She's trolling him, and this is not a person you troll. Like, for safety reasons. Christian looms in front of me and he grasps my chin, slap his fucking face, and say, Keep your hands off me! Tipping my head back, he stares into my eyes, trying to decipher my panic. Tell me, he snaps. There's nothing to tell. I'd like to get dressed. I pull my chin out of his reach, and she's standing in front of him naked. Like, not that I'd be. He sighs and runs his hand through his hair, frowning at me. Let's shower, he says eventually. The doctor is, like, still in the apartment. She's, like, in the room that. What? That. Come, he says sulkily, clasping my hand firmly. He stalks towards the bathroom as I trail behind him. And I'm not the only one in a bad mood, it seems. Firing up the shower, Christian quickly strips before turning to me. I don't know what's upset you or if you're just bad-tempered through lack of sleep, he says while unfastening my robe. But I want you to tell me. My imagination's running away with me and I don't like it. I roll my eyes at him and he glares at me, narrowing his eyes. Shit. Okay. Here goes. Dr. Green scolded me about missing the pill. She said I could be pregnant because she's not a real doctor and is that fucking stupid. Because I'm sorry, no, she could not. As described in this book, the events thereof, and the use of birth control thereof, no, she could not be. This is ridiculous, this is stupid, and this is absolutely like some kind of fear mongering bullshit that needs to be burned out of existence. And no, I'm not for burning books, but I am for burning this book. And if you don't understand that, hit me up in email. We'll have a longer conversation about it if you fucking dare. What? He pales and his hand freezes as he gazes at me suddenly ashen. But I'm not. She did a test. It was a shock, that's all. I can't believe I was that stupid. Because you weren't, and the test that she did is fucking useless. Because if you were in the process of conceiving, it is still in the process of and would not show up in a urinary or blood test for several weeks. Because that's how biology fucking works. But again, book is stupid. He visibly relaxes. You sure you're not? No, she's not. This is total bullshit. She's absolutely not sure of that. She's definitely pregnant right now, as we'll see later on in the third book, where she does turn up pregnant. It definitely started now. He blows out a deep breath. Good. Yes, I can see that news like that would be very upsetting. What news? She didn't get told anything. Idiot. I frown. Upsetting? I was more worried about your reaction. Seriously, when you might be knocked up by a guy who has no relationship to you except you know he's a violent sociopath, and your response is, what is he gonna think? Because that's what I'm worried about. Honey, check yourself into bed. Like, clear in the second Final Destination movie. Do that! He furrows his brow at me, puzzled, his reaction somewhat neutral and unrelieved. It would be the height of carelessness and bad manners to knock you up. Like he keeps up like, have a vasectomy, you idiot. Put your sperm on like freeze, because that's one load is enough to give you 1 billion children. So jerk off into a cup once, put it in a deep freeze, and then have a vasectomy. There you go. You never have to worry about knocking up your subs again. But that would be him taking actual personal responsibility or ownership, or being responsible for his own goddamn actions, or actually aware of what he does instead of just acting like a petulant idiot who can do whatever he wants and then blame the submissive for getting pregnant. Because how did you let that happen? When I fucked you 1 billion times with no condom, and I don't know how birth control works. How did you get pregnant? Yeah, he has no responsibility whatsoever. Yeah. That's not a defense. She is stupid. That is not a defense. She gets defended of nothing for being too stupid. Trust me. Come, let's shower, Christian says, eventually releasing me. Stepping back, he peels me out of his robe and I follow him into the cascading water. This is making me want to puke because I wrote a scene in my own fanfic with cascading water. The now it's changed because now it's in this book and I wrote it again. This is in like part 3, I want to say. So I wrote it like 5-6 months ago, long before I read this. But now I need to change it because I use cascading water as a good thing and a good symbol. And now it's in this book and go fuck this book. I'm not changing. She can change. I'm not changing. I worked hard for my metaphors. Oh, this feels good. Closing my eyes, I succumb to the cleansing, warming water, and I rinse off the shampoo. I feel his hands on me, soaping my body, my shoulders, my arms, my breasts, my back. Gently, he turns me around and pulls me against him as he continues down my body and my stomach and my belly. His skilled fingers between my legs, my behind. And oh, that feels good and so intimate. And he turns me around to face him again. Seriously, somebody take puppets and try to act out what the fuck just happened. Here, he says quietly, handing me the body wash. I want to wash. I want you to wash off the remnants of the lipstick. No lipstick lasts as long, trust me. It would be a game changer and worth $1 billion if it did. His eyes open in a flurry and dart quickly to his. My eyes open in a flurry and dart quickly to his. Bad writing. He's staring at me intimately, soaking wet and beautiful, his glorious, bright, gray eyes giving nothing away. Don't stray far from the line, please, he murmurs tightly. Okay, I murmur, trying to absorb the enormity of what he just asked me to do. To touch him on the edge of the forbidden zone. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. This is really fucking stupid. Like I said in the story I told, I have no touch me zones. Guess what? They don't work like this. They don't fucking work like this. Not even with people you love or care about. There's no lipstick bullshit. They stole this scene from Kimber in the opening scene in season 1, episode 1. Nip Tuck, Christian in the mirror with Kimber is where she got the idea for the lipstick bullshit. Trust me. But that is not how it works. Okay, I threw orange juice against the wall and snapped a glass in half because a friend of mine who knew better than to touch me in the back, and then party where I couldn't have my radar out because there was too many people. And so that's how he got away with startling me, and that's what happened. And I screamed and I threw orange juice against the wall and I snapped a glass and I don't remember doing it, but I know that I did it because I know it happens when someone unexpected touches me on my back. And he apologized to me. First thing I remember when like my hand is raised, I know there's orange against the wall, I can hear it dripping, the whole house has gone silent and it's my fault and I'm about to die. The first thing I remember is my friend who had touched my back and done this saying, I'm sorry, I forgot about touching your back. And that's why he was my friend for another several years. We fell it eventually, but not over this. Because he knew what he did and he said sorry. He stayed with me and didn't abandon me. And he lied to me about not everybody heard you scream, which I don't remember, but I know I did because I know what happens when it happens. So I know I must have, even though I don't remember it. I know I shrieked like a fucking banshee and everybody in the house heard it, but he had the good grace to lie to me. In one of the few situations where I'd accept it because I hate being lied to. But he was like, nah, not everybody heard. You know, he was me and my friend. So, yeah, he caused it, but he knew and he took responsibility. He tried to make it better. And that's why he was still my friend after that. Christian Grey isn't like that. I squeezed a small amount of soap on my hand and rubbed my hands together to create lather, and then placed them on his shoulders and gently wash away the line of lipstick on each side. He stills and closes his eyes, his face impassive. Then he breathes rapidly, and I know not with lust but with fear. It cuts me to the quick. You don't know that. With trembling fingers, I carefully follow the line down the side of his chest, soaping and rubbing softly. He swallows with his jaw tense as if his teeth are clenched. Oh, my heart constricts and my throat tightens. Oh no, I'm going to cry. Seriously? Did he give her shrooms or like MDMA or LSD or some shit? Seriously? Is the shower just rigged with that, like, the slaughterhouse and Criminal Minds? Ready? I murmur. And the tension is loud and clear in my voice. Yes, he whispers, his voice husky, laced with fear. Gently I place my hands on either side of his chest and he freezes again. It's too much, and I'm overwhelmed by his trust in me that doesn't exist. Overwhelmed by his fear, by the damage done to this beautiful, fallen, flawed man. Is she literally trying to make him Lucifer before Lucifer was a show? Is she literally equating him to the fallen angel demigod? I think she is. Tears pool in my eyes and spill down my face, lost in the water from the shower. Oh, Christian, who did this to you? I'm sorry, but you got a fucking light. You want to talk abuse? We can go around, but don't fucking. Not saying any character didn't suffer. I am saying she made this up in the second part to justify his abusive crap because she didn't realize that she misjudged BDSM and she just, I get to beat the fuck out of you, and was trying to justify it by giving him a sad background because it's the most cliche fucking thing ever, even though most people into it do not actually have that background. And those that do have their reasons why, and they know why. His diaphragm moves rapidly with each swallow, his body rigid, tension radiating off him in waves as my hands move along the line, erasing it. Oh, if I could just erase his pain, I would. I'd do anything. And I want nothing more than to kiss every single scar I see, to kiss away those hideous years of neglect. But I don't know. But I know I can't, and my tears fall unbidden down my cheeks. This is so much contrived fucking bullshit. Hello, uh, person who is not actually calling Kaepernick, but using that name. Hey, thank you for joining us from Twitch. Good to have you here. Don't cry, Anna, please, he murmurs against my mouth. It was long ago, and I'm aching for you to touch me. But I just can't bear it. It's too much. Please, please don't cry. He doesn't give a fuck if she cries. He's a sadist. He wants her to cry. This is completely against character and bullshit and fake goddamn writing. I want to touch you more than you'll ever know. To see you like this. So hurt and afraid, Christian. He's not been afraid of a thing. Okay, I'm sorry. He's not afraid. And again, the viewership is spiking to 30. Somebody's messing with this. Because no way there's 30 people here unless I'm randomly getting rated and nobody's saying it. So what the actual... You know what? Since there's 30 people here, PayPal Survival Fund link is in the above. So if you'd like to tip your waitress, or in this case, your narrative author, link is above. Anything, $5 or above. Thank you so much. And I do have handcuffs handy if anyone donates 25 or above. The rules still apply. We do only have one page left, so hurry if you are so inclined. But uh no, baby, I don't. You are, and I do, and so does your family. So do Elena and Layla. They have a strange way of showing it, but they do. You are worthy. Stop. He puts his fingers over my lips and shakes his head, an agonizing expression on his face. I can't hear this. I'm nothing, Anastasia. I'm a husk of a man. I don't have a heart. That's true. Yes, you do, and I want it. All of it. You're a good man. You could do the world's most dramatic bullshit reading of this. Christian, a really good man. Don't ever doubt that. Look at what you've done, what you've achieved. I sobbed. Now she's crying for reasons of never. Look at what you've done for me. You, what you've turned your back on for me. I whisper. I know. I know how you feel about me. I'm sorry. This is out of nowhere. She has no idea what he's given up for. Also, he hasn't given it up. I'm sorry, but that's the goddamn point. He has not given it up. She's like saying, "Oh, you gave up BDSM. You gave up being a torturous bastard to beating and violently fucking women who look like your dead crack whore mother because it gave you a sense of satisfaction slash revenge for your crappy childhood. Even though you got adopted into literally everything, you're a prince among men, literally, and you do whatever the fuck you want. You're still bitched off about your beginnings. Literally, Dexter needs to pay royalties on something. What came first? I think Dexter came first. So, uh, yeah, you like to beat and fuck women who look like your mother because you have a twisted sense of revenge, not out of love. And then he wants to be like, "No, I love you, I love you." No, she's just the most pliable, stupid idiot you've ever found. We've got 3 lines left, so salut. He gazes down at me, his eyes wide and panicked, and all we can hear is the steady stream of water as it flows over us in the shower. You love me? I whisper. His eyes widen further and his mouth opens. He takes a huge breath as if winded. He looks tortured, vulnerable. Yes, he whispers. I do. End of chapter. So we are officially caught up. So we have chapters 9 and 10 on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And chapter 9 conveniently is 20 pages, thank you. And so is chapter 10, thank you. So we have an actual 40 pages that we'll be able to get through in reasonable time, barring any calamities of crazy. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for joining us on this impromptu night. Thank you so much. Pet Sasha and rub her belly. I want a photo. I want a photo of her with her belly up and looking really happy because she's had a lot of belly rubs, okay? Put it in the Pet Adventures on the Discord. Okay? I need a belly rub photo of Sasha. I'm sure she has available belly. If you just ask her. I'm sure she would love to model, and I will, if you have to feed her a begging strip for me, do that because she deserves it. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving on this series and donating to all those that you have. Thank you so much. And for the movie news, no, don't wake the puppy. No, rules apply. Never wake the sleeping puppy. No. I remember as a kid, my mom saying never wake a sleeping dog. Okay, don't. Yeah, no. Not that I've not ever broken this rule. Don't ask. I have, but shut up. So, yeah, don't wake the puppy. But tomorrow, belly rub photo. Come on, girl, with some sparkly nails and the love on the belly. You know she'd love it, and she deserves it. And she hasn't escaped for like a whole 24 hours. Come on. She's letting you off the hook there. I hope everyone had a good night. Thank you for being here. Love on yourself. Love on a fur baby. Come back Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the continuation, chapters 9 and 10 of this beautiful series that we are some inexplicable reason doing, but it happens. It just keeps going. It's like zombies. Be there, be square. See you then. Thank you. Love a fur baby. Have a good night. Love you all. Bye.